you know, obviously we had our meeting back in March with Chevron and Bill Wolfe. I think we all expected that to go exactly the way it did, because you know we continue to pay. Actually, I stopped paying many years ago because I mean, who's going to have to pay for something that never actually happened? That being said, Bill Wolf's not here. We don't have a lawyer here. This is just us. We know that there are needs around, but you know, not a single one of us can afford to take care of those needs on our own. We really have to pool together to be able to make some things happen. Those of us that live on this side of the hill, obviously creek crossings are a big issue. You know, we need to make sure that those are secured and a long-term solution. I have some ideas on that. There's other people have ideas on that. You know, we can all work together to try to figure out what we can afford and, you know, make it happen. But within that afford part, you know, there's got to be something somehow where we can pool money together to make these projects happen. Can we fix all the roads all at once? Absolutely not. It would have to be done in phases. It's plain and simple. May not be done this year, may not be done next year, but we do have to get some sort of capital running. If we can buy a road grader, an old 1950s road grader with a pony motor for a couple grand, you know, that's going to make headway. I've got a backhoe. We have a Bobcat. Todd just bought a skid steer that we're working on, which is why I'm dirty. So.
We have another backhoe.
We have another backhoe that we have to haul down here. I just bought a semi truck. I'm looking for a flatbed low boy trailer or something with step deck that I can haul equipment with as well.
Several tractors with blades.
Yeah, we have several tractors
with
blades.
Thank you.
The problem that we have is, I mean, yeah, Chevron did put some gravel in places. Did it fix the issues? Absolutely not.
Made some worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Good point.
You know, using a blade on the roads that we have that haven't been topped the rest with the 1-inch gravel doesn't do any good because we're down to the hard pack. Plain and short of it is we need more gravel. We can either purchase that from the quarry down in Gravelway, or with those property owners that have access to creeks and things of that nature, if we can get permission to make a path in there with the Bobcat, backhoe, whatever, to obtain some of that gravel. Are we going to pull some big chunks out of there with it too? Yeah, so we're going to have to go through, and it's going to be a community effort to really get some of those bigger chunks out of the way and tossed off to the side, so you're not damaging oil pans or vehicles and things of that nature. But you know, the funding again is going to be the biggest thing. I don't know what y'all can afford. I know what I can afford, but unlike Chevron Sierra's annual land due, if we were to break it up over 12 months and people paid a little bit in at a time, then I think that's going to go a long way, because it's easier to build up a small portion over time than it is to come up with a huge chunk of money more.
And we also have a dump truck.
We do. We got to put a clutch in it, but
and we also have access to another single axle dump truck up on the hill. The old man said if we could use it, he would help us.
Yeah.
We are going to be buying more equipment, you know, in time.
There is a Mini X. I'm waiting on my bonus to come in from the military. I'm getting the Mini X and a skid steer myself, and looking at purchasing a 10 to 20 ton dump truck as well. And I also have a mobile vibrating compactor, so we can start actually taking care of the road properly.
You know,
Vibrating compactor will go a long way.
Just compacting the gravel down and packing it so
I'm in the
Terry.
process of looking at a couple
Terry, you
of
got your cigarette.
track loaders,
Yeah.
front end loaders, and one of those would go.
Yeah, Cat 951 or a Fiat Alice FL14E. That FL14E is about a 45,000 pound machine. Pretty
We just have to get it here for
substantial.
We have
The other
about
ones in Harris,
20
the
railroad ties that need to be picked up.
Caterpillar
I've got another
951s
20
inside.
coming in.
And where he's going with the road size. So again, those of us with creek crossings, you know, that you have to traverse daily. When we have a torrential rain like we had, and again, thank you, Zach, for renting the Mini X.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
You know,
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
thank you, Tony,
Yeah,
for
Tony.
fixing the other sections. But,
Screw you, Tony.
I'll give you the project details on that.
Okay.
Those- Sorry, those, here in a second.
okay.
Now I want to say something else. Tony does 99% of the road work around on our hill.
Yeah, some of you have seen me on the little Massey Ferguson with the blade and box blade and things, you know, just trying to fill in some potholes. But Tony has
Stepped
done
up
a
and,
lot as well, and you know, thank you.
you know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be getting home.
Yep.
So
Tony's the
I'll
one.
get into more what I want to do with Tony. We don't want.
We don't want to know that.
Hey, it's my fantasy. Let me have it.
You are being recorded.
But I really think that Tony needs to be compensated in some way, shape, or form.
Actually, it's
A little
not that
bit?
bad.
It is that bad.
No, it's not. Not if we formed an actual property owners association with the state of Missouri and Morgan County, it's just a matter of filing that articles of organization for the LLC as a not-for-profit with the Secretary of State.
The reason
It's a $200
But
filing fee. It's nothing really.
Jay, if we do that, there are stipulations we're gonna put in place. It's only
Absolutely.
for the
By the
roads.
road, yeah.
Absolutely. So the current deed covenants that we all have from Chevron that are not really tied to a lot of our
Which
deeds, as we found, those are out the window. I could care less about those. I know you guys could care less as well. Forming a property owners association to be legally recognized opens up some other avenues for us. We can get materials for free a lot of times. It takes a little bit of work to get them and legwork, but there's benefits. And like Zach was saying, we writing in the bylaws of how that governing body of elected officials would run can be made so that the board cannot make any decisions or changes to anything without the actual vote of a physical meeting like we're having today of more than 2/3 of its members.
Yeah.
So that way nothing will ever change. It is what it is, just for roads. I don't care what you got on your property.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to know. It's not my business. It's not your business. It's not your business.
Or how you do things, or
How you live.
I got a question. Would that allow us to have a 501c?
We'd have to look into
I
that.
have to look into
Because
it.
that's a
If it's a
nonprofit.
nonprofit,
It's
it's a
501c.
501c.
Yeah.
there's actually several nonprofits. There's also a
Uh,
503c.
A limited,
504.
the typical property owners association or homeowners associations are generally formed with just an LLC, checking that not-for-profit box. But there's also benefits to 501c.
Yeah, because you can get tax deductions.
Well, you
also
could do
get
like
used
what I'm
government
doing,
equipment.
trying to get done with Kelly Rail Services and stuff, where we could. They have a tough time getting rid of the treated timbers that they use for railroads.
I'll
There's
give
a
you an
lot of
estimate on that, too.
liability inherent with giving them to people or selling them to someone if they're not in pristine condition. But if they're donated, it releases them from the liability issue.
And where he's going with that is, our creek crossings, the two we have down here, not necessarily very towards Leaning Tree, but the one we have on the other side,
yep.
locking in the shores or the banks of those, and then either replacing the culverts with bigger culverts, pouring a concrete floor, pouring an actual concrete bridge across it, so that we have an open trough for water and debris to go through versus clogging culverts all the time. But locking those shores in so when you do have that torrential rain and something gets clogged, even if the water comes up over the road,
Wash it away.
our road is still there.
Yeah.
Right.
We may have to top dress it, but our road is still there.
We could also use them as weirs.
Step downs for water runs.
Exactly. I mean, not a complete surface like a dam, but segmented across. That way, water can pass through naturally. But when it gets high, it acts as a barrier and creates a lot of resistance to that water flowing, so it's not tearing up the roadway.
Okay, now, yesterday Zach had an idea. He worked at a rock quarry, And we need to be able to kind of filter the,
Well, that's what I was just gonna say, yes, just rock out of the creek, we can build our own catch basin.
right,
boxes,
but
rates
he's
on
got
it.
that, you're gonna talk to him about getting them cages, what
Yeah.
they call them,
Screens.
slurry,
So
yeah.
I'll come up there now. So if you guys have actually y'all crossed through a creek because you guys got up here, but if you pay attention to the last creek before you get up here, on the left-hand side, there's a screen, what we call screen decks at the rock quarry.
Right.
It's your rock falls through, so you get your different size screens.
Here's that.
I'm gonna go and talk to Capital. I'm gonna talk to Fishers, talk to Magruder's, put the word out there and see if they have any broken screen decks. So typically the screen deck will rip off on either side where it's pulled in, and if we can get those old screen decks and you see what's down there, we can block the fines and even the large pieces from going into the culverts and blocking up our culverts like what we had been this last time. And then if the smaller we can get it, the more fines we can keep from going into it. So if we get a large rain like what we had, we go down, Tony goes down, we go down with the skid steer, we just scoop all that stuff out from in front of the screen deck, and then we're fine. On the engineering side of it, like Jay said, getting the railroad ties is a great idea. It's extremely well, because you are shoring up your bridge, so to speak, and you're locking it all into place. But the problem we run into is financing for it. So just projected for the one that we fixed now is roughly 50 ties to put in there. Menard sells them. They're 7 inches by 9 inches by 8 foot long. So they're pretty good size. Putting 50 of them in, you're putting on the side that's been fixed the most, you're putting 22 plus 3 step downs from the creek coming down. So there's your 25 there, and then the other side is another 25 to try to shore everything up. Not to mention your all thread to hold them in place, some concrete to put them in place, the all thread in place, and the different steps, or the man hours, or the equipment to rent it. The ties themselves are $1,000. The equipment for the week to do all that's another $2,000. So money adds up quickly when we're stepping outside the box. I have a list of just basic things that doesn't include man hours, like I said. Diesel I've projected at another $500 because you're gonna have a couple pieces, the tractor, the Mini X that if we rent it, Bobcats that we have to put fuel in, and the dump truck for rock. It's not cheap, that's one bridge. So all in all, I project it roughly around $5,000 just to do one bridge, and we maintain 5 in our little area that sees a lot of rain. So I'm against the POA, but at the same time, I'm not against the benefits of the special road portion of the POA. And that's what I'm looking at saying is, hey, if we do the POA, we modify it to change where it says to build a special road district, kind of like what Gravois has, but they're funded by the state. We would be funded by our community.
Actually, we could reach out for grants, being the not-for-profit also.
So Zach brought up another good point, kind of unintentionally. The equipment that is down here, that it's all individually owned, and even though we don't mind using it for the things down here, there's maintenance that happens to that equipment, and that costs the person who owns that equipment money. So that maintenance really needs to be part of, or at least some sort of compensation for that maintenance back to the people.
And most of that equipment's old.
It is.
But we bought what we can afford, and
No, I get that.
yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying, the money, basically, guys, in my opinion, this is all about money.
It's all about financing. And
Unfortunately, it is.
And that's the sad part of it,
You know,
but,
I think we have enough people in this.
and I can
room
get
that
creek
are
gravel,
willing to help.
I can get probably 200 tons of creek rock. If everybody knows what a swimming hole is, I know the owner of it. I have permission.
Well, that's kind of what this is us all acting as a group, bringing in the resources that we can bring to bear, using finances where we need to. That way we can cover the gap.
And I'll put it in another couple steps further. We've had, that I know of, we've had 2 of our residents die, 3, because Dollar died up here too.
Yep.
Medical,
Because
without these
EMS.
roads being able to be maintained or passable,
Medical can't get here.
yeah, medical's not going to get here. We had another one of our local people that had some serious health issues. Luckily, they didn't need an ambulance, but they wouldn't have been able to get through.
And I can tell you, there's been ambulances stuck on a road out here.
Ed's
get to-
turn.
No.
Thanks to Tony, thanks to Will and Gail and
Yep.
Dawn.
Ed's turn is now passable.
Right.
It wasn't passable.
And I can
For
tell
like
you,
4
Morgan
days.
County don't give a shit. I
Nope.
called them and told them. And
Now-
they didn't even come down and put some road closures, anything down.
Keep that in mind. It's an election year. Keep that in mind, guys. It's an election year, so our commissioners are up for re-election. And as I got told in our meeting on the 5th, nope, nobody's petitioned the county since 1990, and so they are not accepting any new roads. So, in order for that, we have to petition the county, which that's why I made sure I got everybody's emails and actual mailing addresses, so when we get the petition, I can let y'all know and we can figure out doing that. And there are people coming in, and I did get hired. I will be leaving Camden County and going to Morgan County as of May 1st. So I will be coming over trying to pull, again, our little community being like, hey, I'll take care of this. Trying to
I
suck
got
us into
one
the county.
suggestion that would help out with gas.
What's up?
I don't know who all has one,
Oh,
but an Eagle Stop card. You can build your points up by getting
Mm-hmm.
drinks and all kinds of stuff. Them points can be used toward gas.
Yeah, but can they
You
be?
can get 10 cents and 20 cents off. I've got one. I would be more than happy to let anybody use it that needs to.
I've got one. And Casey's rewards.
Well, here's the thing: is if we do the POA special road district, how would everybody feel if we did it? Not saying we're going to. If we went as a group and said, "Hey, this group is going to this whatever it is, get the card for the group."
Yeah.
That way, that
And just
POA
use one person's phone number.
Name is in the league because I work at Eagle Stop, so I'll be able to keep an eye on it anyway.
I
Yes,
think
we
you
could
can.
form a company. We could. That'd be
That would be the LLC.
or the road district.
And everybody could have the phone number
Yeah,
to it, and everybody could use it and build the points up.
It
That
would
would help
also-
everybody take money off the gas.
As the LLC, not for profit, it would also give us special purchasing powers that we wouldn't have before, as just individuals.
And then, you know, we're going to need more equipment, like Jason Bono's Bobcat. You know, we're going to need grapple buckets. And, you know, A&M Outdoor Sales,
You'll need a claw.
yep, we'll need a claw. We'll need certain things, and they will give discounts to military people. And they do
Yeah.
help with other things, you know, but we're going to need more equipment in the long run. Me and my wife are looking at a road grader right now. It's on an auction in Springfield,
There's 2 of them.
and I think it's like $1,600 right now.
Right now, yeah, the bids are at $1,600.
And,
Again, they're older road graders, so we go back to the older.
Right.
but I mean,
But-
15, 20 people, $100. We could probably get a road grader for. We'd have to figure out how to get here, but they will deliver. The auction companies will deliver to you.
Yeah, that one's on Sexton Auctions.
Yeah, all we gotta do is just get it up to Ozark Heights
Right.
and drop it, and then we'll road grade it all the way up and all the way back. There are so many different options that we can explore,
Lead it.
but we have to get everybody together on the same page
Phone number, and everybody can go in there and use that phone.
and roll with something.
Don't ask me questions. Don't ask questions.
Oh, I'm gonna ask
I
questions.
was just gonna ask it. Does that belong to the county?
That belongs
Yep.
to the county.
That's counties.
So
I've got a key for it.
So does Zach.
I do too.
she's recording. Shut up.
We can edit that out.
It doesn't matter.
So you guys that don't know me, I'm Army Sergeant Zachariah Underwood. I live down here, a little bit back of the road. Yeah, you out there. So, thanks, appreciate it.
Different property.
Yeah, one of the assholes, just the other end. So my specialty is roads. So horizontal construction engineering, actually, and then I follow water. I'm water specialist, whatever you want to call it. I manage water. So, yeah, sure. Let's go that way.
He's the water boy.
Well played, sir.
So when it comes to roads, I don't have a problem like stepping outside and helping anybody. I just live a very active life. Those that don't know it, I'm also a heavy equipment chipper boss for a company out in Oregon during wildfire season. I'm not here. My dad's not here. I'm also getting looked at for my 3rd deployment. So I do a lot of stuff, and if I'm not here, like I talk to Todd, I talk to Jay, those people that I do have communication with, I talk to them and I spread out my ideas and try to do this. Was gonna have a big old fancy whiteboard and have pictures and doodles and things to hand out. I kind of fell behind.
Because you got very active girls as well.
Yeah,
Very active girls.
I do have a very active life. But, so if there's questions about what's being done, like I talked to Todd, and when we were fixing the culverts, we were talking about doing the shoring. I told him flat out, it's going to take about a week because we have to pull everything up. The one culvert furthest down on the south side, as I'll call it, it's 3/4 of the way clogged still. We got it open and got it to flow water, but it's still got a lot of rock in it. So we would have to pick it up, pull it out, pick it up, and carefully dump it. We've also talked to Jay about he's volunteered a pipe and taking and putting an offshoot drain in there as well that would dump more water down further south. So we'd have to dig into the road a little bit, put that pipe
Let me
in,
ask you a question.
and dump it. What's up?
What if you had the ability to jet?
The jet would be amazing.
I have the ability to jet.
Jet would be.
I don't
For
know.
those that don't know what jetting
I don't
is,
know if
It'll need a water supply, constant. It's 4 GPM, or excuse me, it's 4,000 PSI. It's 6 GPM.
I don't know if that's gonna be strong enough. I really don't.
That will cut concrete. It'll be strong enough.
Because we drug tires through it.
if we can get it to open up
You put a
50% on it.
0.25
Right.
straight point on it, it'll cut
Yeah.
through anything.
No, I get that. But these pipes are also
not
sectioned
together.
together.
They're not together.
They're not. There's parts of them that
they're
are
aging. They're well over 20 years old.
Well, they're not. The good part is they're not rusted in parts.
In
the
parts.
bad part is like Todd said, there's a 10-foot section that they threw a band clamp over it and said, there it is, it's in the ground. We're not gonna have to look at it again.
And it's got a gap probably that wide.
These are 24 inch, right?
These, I believe, they're 18-inch.
I think they're 18 or 20. I don't remember.
Yeah,
what
The question that I had is if someone could get down it, and I know that it would be uncomfortable to do so.
A child. We had a child.
We had a child digging it out.
Okay, well, my thought is.
Only because he wanted to.
Can
he was having fun.
Can we set concrete from the inside?
No.
You gotta dome the concrete on the outside.
You're gonna.
because
The
it
problem is
busts
it
the wood apart.
possibly
everything.
collapse
The concrete's
Yeah.
from the inside. If it, for some reason, it doesn't set all the way and the water can get underneath it, it will cause it to float and collapse, and then we have a bigger problem.
No, it's just you
I see where you're going. It's a completely good idea, but the problem is if it collapses.
I can hear you saying that.
Do we know about the voids around the pipe at all?
No.
No, all we know is on either end, the far,
The main.
the east end that washed out, that keeps washing out, it has large riprap in it, large holders, which we were able to pull back into, and if you see there is one sitting up on top, that's just so people don't fucking run off the road.
And you know, we can all go down to these culverts
not
here a little
hard.
bit. We can all hop in vehicles and go down there, and everybody go down there, and they can see what we're talking about.
We did create.
It's not just the creek crossings that.
No,
it's not.
It's everything.
That's one of the starting points.
It really sounds like we need to cut valleys in there and
Well,
restrict them.
that's what I didn't cut. I didn't
Yeah.
cut a restrictor. So here's what happened: is when they came through, they put rock in for us, and I'm sure they did it on every one of the roads on the 9455 association. Okay, what they did is they put fines as well as they took like a 3-inch minus, which is everything from 3-inch down, and they put it on the road. When we got the 3.5, 4 inches of rain, it washed all the loose stuff, the fines out, and the fines are what built up in your creeks, in your culverts, in your ditches. They built up everywhere. on top of that, we still have 4 or 5 years of foliage that has gone down that is now washed into the creeks. We have all the loose silt from the roads that has washed into the creeks and it's clogged everything up.
I'm
So-
sure you all saw those branches of
Yeah.
trees. That's what we dug out.
That's some of the stuff we dug out. So on the northeast west side of the creek, I went in and dug 2 tide pools that'll slow everything down and it'll catch all of the silt.
And thank
Or
you
it's
for
meant to.
restoring your creek.
I also dug a restriction creek. So what it does is I push all the silt up to one side and it causes the water to flow a certain way till it hits the open pools. Then it can catch the water and fall in. On the opposite side, so we don't flood, if you guys notice or know anybody around here, we're missing Kim and JJ and all the guys that live down on
Why aren't they here?
Alice and
Lauren.
Lauren.
Did we get a hold of them?
JJ's probably at work
Yes,
Yeah, I think JJ's at
JJ's
work.
at work, Kim's at work.
at the
Yeah.
same place.
I was gonna say Kim is on our page and
JJ's
she
always on
was
Allison Lane.
aware.
Lauren.
I was gonna say, JJ better not be
No.
on Allison Lane.
No, Lauren.
Wrong JJ.
Wrong JJ.
Okay.
Wrong JJ, Ma.
Okay.
So they,
JJ's got a job.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
But anyway, they're not here. I believe they're all at work. There's
Okay.
some of the pictures from.
This is the banding that's on the culvert. If I zoom in, you guys can see the breakage between the culvert pipes, and you can see
It's
everything
6 8
that's
inches
going on.
laced.
Yeah, it's at least 6 to 8 inches wide.
And that banding is,
It's just cover banding. It's not even actual
No, it's
banding
not- yeah.
strap.
yeah, because it's just, they cut a culvert, cut those.
So back to what I was saying. Everything that come off of our hills when it rained, it found its way to the creeks. Water does what it does. Whether it came off of Todd Nyer's property, went down this way, whether it went down off the backside of Don's, the guys from Candy Lane, all that, it flowed down our creeks. So it caught all of the fines are stuck. That's where our problem is. On the opposite side of the creek, on the east side of the creek, where we dug out where the end of the culverts were,
Made it through the beginning.
we can't go too far because that is JJ's property and we don't want to create a further problem downstream. So, we've done what we can to try to divert the water, to try to slow the water. So my next suggestion is going to the shoring where we can take the rail ties, on the side and shore them up. We can set screws in them, put them in concrete. That way the concrete holds the set screw piping. And as we put the
Why don't you cantilever it?
we can, there's several ways to do it.
I'm just thinking by cantilevering it, you can relieve some of the need for concrete.
Well, it's not gonna be, I'm thinking, all in all, is maybe 5 bags of Quikrete. Not very much. Because you're just gonna set the pieces of set screw in, and then you'll weave the ties together. That way they interlock as you're setting them down on top of the pipe. You lock them all together, and then you tighten them down. And at the top, like it was said, you cut notches in those that come up over the road edge. That way water can naturally flow through if we do get the blockage. That is my thought for that. And then on the side where the water comes off of our hill, we stair step it, because they are 7 inches by 9 inches. So 7 inches up, you put a block. You go back about 3.5 feet, set another block. Go back another 3.5 feet and set another block. And you do it on both sides. The opposite side, where we typically have to drive a tractor in, where you drove down and I was in it, we would do, instead of 3 feet, you would go back 5 feet. That way we can still, if something happens, we can still access those waterways. That way it's not as hard on us to get our equipment down into that and we're not getting stuck like what we did before.
Tony's
By
like,
that,
huh?
if you
What?
guys don't know,
We got stuck.
we got stuck. Not only in the tractor, but the Mini X also got stuck. It was kind of fun and entertaining to get out.
It was
The
fun.
the side of, I'm gonna say your name wrong and I apologize. Robert, on your side of your property with the last rain 2 days ago, 3 days ago, one of the things I observed was the way the water's flowing. So it'll rain down on. If you don't know where he lives at where the green gate is at the bottom of the hill.
Oh.
Or that's his property.
Oh, okay.
Just
So-
adjacent to the creek.
Yes.
Yes.
He got
So-
above the crease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the one that we repaired, the water, instead of flowing into the creek like it should, on the east side, it flows across the road and onto the west side. Reason for that is there's no natural ditch. So the water is being blocked. So my suggestion on that is we take and push a foot back while creating a divot so it can flow into the creek, and that way we have that problem alleviated and we can build the road back up.
Isn't that divot over time gonna take on and make a bigger hole?
So that led me into what I was saying earlier. I'd like to get with Jay and maybe take that second pipe or that pipe he has and
30
lay
30-inch pipe.
the 30-inch pipe and lay it instead of laying parallel to the two pipes we already have.
Zach.
Lay it kind of at an angle.
So instead of having the two pipes like this and then putting that third pipe, he's wanting to move it down towards the end of the bridge and come
And
offshoot and angle it. So that way it's kind of an offshoot. So on that wider side where it always washes out with the big rocks, that's where that pipe would end and it would flow straight into the creek.
So, is that why we need an extra, like 10 foot of that
Yeah.
pipe? Okay, that makes sense, because I was like, that's a 20-foot pipe.
Well, so your roads, and I don't know how many of you guys know this, on your roads, and it's supposed to be in those covenants, Chevron Sierra, with the road maintenance that they do, own 15, yes, that's why I quoted it. They own 15 feet of your property. It's called an easement. So they own 30 foot of road and 15 foot of either side of that road, so they can work on those roads without causing property damage. Do they tell anybody that?
No.
No, which is why they just come in and tore the hell out of mine up here on Ozark
I'm gonna
Pike.
fix it. We got.
I know.
It
I'm just saying.
it happens.
I made them do it.
James back here, I told them they needed to fix his. They didn't do his either. And I went through when I had the mini axe and pushed it over
They
for
were
him.
headed down the hill, and I was like, "Hey, hey, hey!"
The
I
other
ain't gonna
thing,
leave that like that, right?
the other thing is like at Don and Tony's house, their culvert completely full. Todd's up here at the corner that runs the road.
There are several small
Completely full.
culverts that cross the road to, obviously pass water from one ditch to the other side so we can go down in the draws. I would ask that everyone walk their properties,
Please.
to the roads, and if you find what looks to be a culvert, let us know.
Plastic or metal.
Plastic or metal. They're essential to actually keeping the roads in good condition once we get them there.
We need to unclog ours.
Okay,
Ours is
now
completely
I've got
clogged.
some culvert I'm supposed to go get. I don't know how much it is. I know there's a lot there. I don't know how big it is,
But there's a lot there.
but there's a lot there.
There, yeah.
Or trailer load.
It's gonna
We
be a
probably
trailer.
we need to take a
My
trailer.
yellow trailer's staying down here so you can use it.
I told the lady I'd come and get it today,
Yeah, that ain't happening.
but that ain't gonna happen. But maybe I can go get it
So that's how
tomorrow.
the 30-inch pipe got.
No, she wasn't going to be available tomorrow. We may have to go next weekend.
The other problem we're not thinking about, and it's probably because they're not here. They work a lot and they have kids. I know that there are more property owners on the backside.
Yep.
These
Yep.
our
Yep.
neighbors that are on that
We-
side of the hill.
We
Yeah,
went down there,
Question.
and did some
Tanya is
road.
at work.
We went down there and made some.
Are we only talking about Ozark Heights?
No.
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 Then yeah,
We're
could you
talking-
enlighten us?
All this.
Sorry.
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What all
so
the roads
right,
we're talking about?
right now, I'm not being mean by no means, because these are the roads that I travel. That's why I've only surveyed our roads. Okay. I know that there's work to be done back here. I
So
know
are we
that
talking Ed's Turn and
Ed's Turn, Leaning
Yeah.
Tree,
Anyway.
Allison Lane.
this,
Are
this
any
is
of
Allison
people here?
Lane's good.
Basically,
Okay.
ones right there. Yes.
Yeah, they do a lot of maintenance themselves and have for years on their
Also,
roads. So.
Donnell
They
wanted
gave
to
up
be
on
here,
Sierra
but
a
she had
long
to go to
time
work.
ago.
Well, that's because they mean. So they had a deal in place, and correct me if I'm wrong. That the guy would maintain. They had one guy down there that would maintain it if they would quit charging them
Road maintenance.
Is that correct?
Right. They charged us,
But not
Charge
him.
not
Yeah.
him, because
Not him.
Gordon went
Which-
down there. Gordon and I went down there and got into a big argument with Chevron with the redhead. Well,
Miss
then
Red?
when Ken went down there, they said if you maintain the road, and he had an agreement, then we won't charge you any road maintenance. But they wouldn't do the same for us.
Which is really fucked.
But Ken and Gordon have been maintaining. We put $1,200 in that road last year in gravel.
Oh yeah.
I know I spent over $1,000 in gas last year for Tony to go out and do
Well,
work.
I don't know how much. I have never paid attention how much these guys put in
Yeah,
gas.
it's
So-
it's not
And
cheap.
No,
diesel.
it's
Diesel.
no, it's not. And
My
diesel
next
prices are
question
still going up.
This is all 945 districts.
Well,
Okay, well, that's what we
the
got.
thing. We need to get everybody, and it can't be onesie twosies.
All the way
It can't be
down.
just a click.
I've never
We
been
need everybody.
Everybody.
Here.
And that's why I was hoping we'd have at least 80 people here today, because that'd be, the way I calculated the people,
Right here is our-
there's about 80 different residents,
The road curve.
you know, in the whole,
Right. So
Section.
This is where.
the good thing about the people that we do have here is that
Tony.
Word of mouth.
it's word of mouth.
Yeah,
Talking to your neighbors.
This is a
trying to
marathon.
get
This isn't
everybody
Go
involved.
downhill 'cause
You know,
Yeah.
4-yard dash.
Well, I'm disappointed because I went to all my
Go
neighbors.
down the hill and part of the
I
precinct.
talked to Sean last night.
Yeah, they may not.
I thought they'd be here, but
Well, our neighbors, I understand why they're not here because, like I said, one of them just got out of the hospital with a very serious issue. So him
Yeah.
being here,
This is all called.
I got it.
Yeah, and James told me that he wasn't going to be able to make it. So
And we that's
Yeah.
why we had it recorded because he had asked about live streaming it for him. That way he could be involved somehow. And I just got off the phone with him before the meeting started. He
Yeah.
said he
So
didn't really want
that's
to
why we're trying to
pay attention
record
to
it
right
too.
now.
That
And
way
I
we can
said
put
that's
it out.
fine.
there
Yeah, she
and
wants to
let
see the recording.
everybody come because we need everybody here. We need everybody's opinion. We need to explain it, unlike what they explained it, where they had an attorney, we were in a courtroom.
well, my
I can
biggest
sign
thing
one.
is I didn't want Bill Wolf's hands in it regardless.
Well, I agree 100%.
I mean, even with it as a POA, he would have had his hands in it somewhere.
Another problem with the roads, if you'll notice, as you're driving down Webb Road, everywhere trees are hanging over the roads, there's big potholes. That's because the water's collecting on the leaves and the drops are bigger.
Well,
And it's just dropping in the same spot every time, digging those holes.
one thing.
Um,
Another problem we have is when Chevron was maintaining it at the bottom of
yeah.
your property, they have taken all the red clay. It's not a problem. Red clay sucks, but it's got a lot of rock in it, and that's what they're doing. They took our rock and pushed it into the clay. So now we have clay rock. They have stuck it all there, and now that washes out, guess where? It's washing into her property.
Well, also
And it's
a few
tearing it up.
years ago, Gary on the corner, he was doing the road,
Yep, I remember that.
and created those big.
But he was trying to help us out. So just
Right,
at,
I know.
just at a show of hands, who lives here full time? And I'm not picking on anybody. Okay, out of you guys that live here full time, who lives here off of Ozark Heights? Okay, you live at the top of
I live at
Ozark
the
Heights,
top.
so you're not a problem.
I live right in the
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
still
you
a
are.
problem.
Well,
she's a
you're
problem.
not the problem I'm getting at. So those of us that live back here, how many of you guys use Ed's turn to get out?
Not me.
During the winter, how many of you guys use Ed's turn because it's a straight shot to get out?
Nope.
It's because you have a Jeep.
we do use it.
Necessary.
We do
Well,
use it.
We do.
No, you've used it, and that's when we slid down the son of a bitch in the ditch
Well, I
and
had
got
a trailer
stuck.
The point is during winter, that's the way the ambulance and fire truck come in because that is a straight shot and they can get the truck and stuff slowed down.
As long as that culvert line's there.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's why I said we take this on. We're taking
Thanks for
all of
bringing it up,
945 roads.
Because I was
Candy
going to say
Lane,
something.
Ed's Turn, Lauren Lane, Allison.
I don't use it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Leaning Tree, Poe. Yeah.
So we're gonna piss a lot of people off, I'm sure, because if we do this HOA, quote unquote, road district,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to.
That's me.
They're gonna have to pony up money. If we're gonna have to take on all the roads,
Well, that's why they said a little bit at a time, even if it's every
If
month.
they don't want to come,
I don't
people
think they'd be
no,
mad,
There's
I
some people
just-
that just didn't want to come. I know that for a fact.
Okay, well,
and
maybe.
Some I'm just saying. But how are we gonna do it? Because I know there's several people off Candy Lane that they just don't care.
I guess this is a
Let-
point
okay,
place
well,
where you have
actually,
to ask
I-
yourself, do you want to do it?
Well, I've been doing it. I've been helping.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Yeah.
do it or
So-
do you not want to?
I mean, we're going to be all in
Here's the
regardless.
thing, guys. If we do it, and Todd and I talked about it a little bit. If we do, and I know it's a number. I understand everybody lives on a fixed income.
Amen.
Whether you want to say it or not, whether you want to tell yourself or not, you live on a fixed income. But as Todd and I looked at it, if we did $600 per group, like per, however you want to look at it, per resident, per group, per household, whatever up here, So $600 for my place, $600 for Todd's. However y'all want to divvy
So-
it up over there at Asshole Acres, you know. I look the wrong way. How you want to divvy it up? That's how it is, you know.
So basically.
So like $50 a month.
But that's what it comes out to.
$50 a month.
That's a
But-
lot easier to swallow than saying you need to come up with a big lump sum at one
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But
Yep.
if we could get this road grader bought real quick on this auction, and we could pony up some money, and we knew how much money we had, so we could bid on it on the auction. So if ever we could throw down, you know,
Todd, let me do this real
Okay,
quick.
go
I got where you're going. But if we did that, and if we have all 80 participants that said, you know what, $50 a month, we can afford that. Just
Yeah,
out of
you're
the
gonna have
80,
a lot that can't.
I got that.
Mhm.
I understand it. But if God aligned everything right, that's $4,000 a month we're putting toward that group. Then, over 12 months, that's $48,000.
Actually, can I?
There's the road grader. There's whatever
Hold
rock.
on, hold on. Something else that we're not exploring that me and Tony have talked about in one aspect, and I'm sure there's several others, is there are alternative ways or alternative streams of income that could possibly be brought to bear. And some of those, depending on how they were and how everyone would or wouldn't accept them, could be long-term strategies.
Tony's getting too old to prostitute.
me money on it. I'm the hooker of the. I'm the.
He doesn't drive anymore. I mean, the last time we did 29th of Prospect.
The other thing we haven't done is this. So the speculation, we all speculated. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. We all speculate the person that bought a majority of this property up, the 945, is the loop. Is that,
Mhm.
that the understanding?
Yep.
Okay. We have not gone to them and said, hey,
Not yet.
since you've come in and you own the road grader, you own all the logging equipment, you own the dozers, you own everything, come help us.
That's why we're trying
They're
Yeah.
wanting to talk to us.
set this up.
We are
Why
completely
didn't
here.
they come?
I wanted to make sure that
They
we
tried
actually
to get a
had
hold of us, but,
conversation with the
Wolf
people that have always been
Stepped
here
in and
uh,
stopped them.
prior to bringing them in.
Who did?
Wolf stopped them
Bill Wolf?
from coming to talk to us.
Absolutely.
No, the
Next
lone wolf.
weekend's a large event.
But
I'll
they
go up to the
want
loop.
to talk to us because they want to help with the roads. They want to help get this property up.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Well, that's because that's going to help them sell their properties that they've bought from Bill Wolf.
Right.
Which, that's fine. You
Then
know what?
aside,
That's
we still have to
completely
have our
fine.
buy-in to organize anything, whatever it may be. You know, we
Yeah.
need to make
if you
sure
want
we've
me
got all of our
to,
neighbors
I can get
involved.
his number and I can get everything we need for anybody to go talk to him.
Just as
Set up a
long
meeting.
as they're not
Sit
a
down.
major,
That's right.
a
My baby
major
knew
owner of
everybody.
the most property.
So they are.
Like they don't have a stronger opinion than everybody else.
No, because
If we can
Wanna
keep
meet
it for
Fred?
just the roads.
so here's how.
Yep.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Here's how we look at it is, or at least here's how I look at it. You can own 10 properties here. You get one vote.
Right. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't care how many.
Because if
acres
a
you have
major
here.
company comes in and wants to do, then they can change all of the rules and everything.
You
'cause
kiss
they
my
own-
ass and go out of here because
Yeah,
we
okay,
moved
good.
out here
If
for.
they own
That's-
300
You're cut off, Dawn. No more to
properties,
drink.
they only have to put in $50 a month.
My back.
So that is something that well, you've got a good point. But what I'm saying though is that is something if we build the board we would assess. If they own
They could put in nothing and just donate equipment. That would be nice.
that, and that's
That
fine.
exactly.
That would help.
Okay.
Actually, what if they were to donate labor on top of that?
That
we
would be
can
super
put a
awesome.
valuation on equipment use.
From what she was telling
Yeah.
me, because they were
Hours.
planning to work on
Yeah.
the roads
It
because
goes
they
to
didn't like them.
hours.
That goes on valuation. We determine how valuable that their time and labor is, and that goes towards their put in on it.
So back to the military side of this, when we build a project report, every piece of equipment has a value, like Aaron was saying. It has a value. So if I pull out the grader, for example, that is $150 an hour. That's how much that value is. Okay. Then the soldier that goes inside that is another value. Then the diesel on that is another value. Then the material to go to that is another value. So it goes into a budget that we would build, and we would tell them, hey, we want 48 labor hours on your grader. We want another 24 of man hours and about 36 hours of diesel. So they would calculate that up and be basically that's 5 days worth.
How about we just go up there and say, hey, if we get the stuff, will you help us with the road?
That's simple English. I mean,
You're right, but them being
Don't put a value on it. You let them determine their own value. That's what they're going to do anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to get everybody's kind of thoughts on the actual organization of whatever it may be prior to going to Big Country. And I don't have a problem going and speaking with Big Country. That's
neither do I.
That's what I was thinking, is that we could hold off, find out how
yeah,
much
we don't
they
have to
need.
do anything today.
We just wanted to put the idea to
That's a
everybody
good idea.
and
We're
show
trying to
everybody
get everybody's
where we're
opinion
at.
on it that lives up
But
here.
what's the liability insurance on something like that? That's another question.
That's the other problem we're in too. And like I said, my idea behind it wasn't, pardon me, to generate a business, but to generate what like Gravway has, which is a special road district where you assign, hey, you're gonna be a dump truck operator. Hey, you're gonna run the skid steer. I'll fucking sit there with my thumb up my ass because that's what I'm good at. I don't know. But you assign people things, and then yeah, exactly. Then you know what? We find out we had a really good rain. These guys aren't able to come down next weekend. Hey, Todd, can you be the guy with your thumb up your ass this weekend? You run a skid steer, and I'll run the grader. You know, we just were.
No, you gotta
trying
have
to
your
do
thumb up your ass because I like it.
No, I want your thumb up my ass.
Hey,
Well,
we're
there you
children's
go.
prison.
Wow. No, it's being recorded.
But I understand. We gotta have fun.
Tony's got a lot of editing to do.
But the whole thought was is if we did that, then it kind of helps you stay in our little 945, as they say.
How many people are on the Facebook group?
Yeah.
I don't
Think-
think
I didn't even know we had
Okay.
one. I don't get
Okay.
on Facebook.
So if
Well,
you're
we
not
put
on
together
the
a group on
Facebook,
there to just an open forum for everyone to communicate.
so beware.
Will
Chevron
Messenger
is
work
watching
with
that.
it?
Chevron is watching everything on that because I went in there and I was like, you know what? Hey, I know y'all said yes. This is how I know because I stopped in right after the rain happened. I said, hey, can you do us a solid and fix it one more fucking time? What if we need an ambulance? And I got told by Red, absolutely no, not gonna happen.
He
So-
didn't get his money then.
Yep, exactly. They washed their hands and they didn't give a shit.
So why are they watching it then?
So they can see what we're doing.
Yes.
That's why I did not post pictures of what the roads looked like and what we did on the Facebook group. They went to the messenger chat because you have to be invited by a group member to be on the messenger chat.
Can we
So-
privatize the group to where they can't see anything?
Absolutely.
You can kick them out too.
You can.
You can.
If you can find them, or
That's
who
the
it is
thing.
that's watching it.
That's the thing is you have to know. I
You
strongly
can also
suggest putting
choose
in
who
questions.
you let
Yeah,
into the
but-
group.
Questions.
questions.
And that's what we have on my raffle group. We
Yeah.
have questions to.
I added a couple of questions on ours
What
because
property-
I
what
didn't
property
know.
do you own?
We got a request to the page from a name I didn't recognize, and it's not even actually her name. I don't think. But it was
Right.
Kim. So I put on there, what road do you live on in our 945 area? And I think there was another question. I added 2 to our group.
You
I
should definitely ask about the dog. Is there a dog that tries to attack your car every time you come up the hill? You should definitely be on it. Tries to kill your
See,
car
that
when
would be
you
a no for me.
Oh, that's
Your dog attacks my car too.
No, you call my
antagonize the
dog
dog.
over to your car. So don't even.
Shame on you.
Yeah, but I know who you are. So the thing is with your Facebook, instantly I could see it and go, yeah, that's Gail. I know who that is.
Right.
So my thing is if you're not on the Facebook group, I highly recommend you go to the chat, and you can have Facebook chat without having Facebook.
What is the
You can.
Facebook group called?
Yeah, it's called Messenger.
945. Yeah, it's Facebook Messenger. You can have it without.
945 Mafia.
Yeah,
The only
that's
thing I
it.
use.
Nine.
They're watching us on that too.
945 Property Owners Mafia. Because someone decided to coin that out in front of City Hall the other day, so that's what I made the group.
So they can, it doesn't matter who they are, they can still go look at it,
Yeah.
even if we have questions and everything.
So we have
Because
to privatize
anybody
it.
that has a Facebook page, they can see,
follow in. Yep.
they can follow in through there. They
That's
can
why
see
I
it's on your
recommend
Facebook page.
going to the chat group.
Yep.
Has anyone seen a drone?
Yeah, but not everybody does
Yes.
that.
So that's the other thing. If you guys don't know,
Drones come around.
I haven't seen them.
okay.
I haven't either.
For those males of us, and I say males specifically because 95% of us all in here like to shoot the shit to fly. There are drones that fly over.
And I will shoot them.
Just so you know, it's not just Chevron that's doing it anymore, because the county commissioner come down here one time and hit my fucking road. He hit that pothole you got stuck in, and he goes, "I'm never fucking driving down your road again." It never. Cool. The county at that time hadn't had the opportunity for it to adopt, and it was still Bill Wolf's. Bill Wolf still said, "Fuck you." Bill Wolf has been fined over our roads, just so everybody knows. So they said no. The county does fly drones over to survey property.
Oh, so we
And-
can't shoot them down.
I will.
At your own risk. At your own risk.
We can't, we found that out.
It's a federal thing.
It's a federal
Now,
offense.
now, I'm not telling you can't shoot a net at it and capture it.
But there's
You
been
just can't shoot 'em.
some of the
There are
drones that you're
shotgun
seeing
shells
now,
with nets.
Sean down that road,
No, I haven't
this guy
seen
does
that.
property survey, and that's how they survey
Yep.
drones. So the survey company
Oh,
has to.
You do have to. Eagle Eye is one of them that does the survey that way.
for
Got the
that.
ghillie suit.
They do, and I looked at one on Amazon. It's $400.
It goes on the end of your barrel. You shoot it.
It opens the net.
Yep.
It's a
What?
nice toy.
Boo.
Back to the name of the group.
Solutions for everything.
And I said about potential alternate sources of income. One of the logical thoughts I had was to use that name that was coined out there, because in that moment, that's what we all became. Okay?
I mean, I asked you flat out before we even started.
Why don't we sell merch? We can do it as a not-for-profit. It becomes a donation. Then all we've got to do is market it.
You got so the problem with it is the only people that would buy it with the understanding.
No, it's not. Not especially if you. Some of the crap that everyone says here.
Put it on
Some of
Facebook.
the, some of
Feel
the,
like crazy.
some of
Liquor
the
the deer
stupid.
guts on a doorknob?
Yes.
You can't put Dollar's favorite saying on there.
Why
Yes,
not?
you can, absolutely.
He does the fucking roads too.
In Dollar we trust. I mean, one of
That's
the
not the saying.
no, one of the things. So my first
He
introduction.
ain't got no
Believe
conscience
only in
saying.
dollar.
Exactly. My first introduction to
There's
Dollar
little
was
ones, so I was
Gimp walking down the road,
being PG.
fucking stops, pulls his leg off, looks at it like, fucking work guy, puts it back on, and continued to walk. I was like, hello? What is wrong with you? Oh, I'm Dollar Bill, by the way. I have a fake leg.
His
I-
niece told me to watch out for
See
him.
that? Like, clearly, just watch that shit happen. He goes, and it, just so you know, don't believe a shit they said. This was almost 11 years ago. Don't believe a shit thing they say about road maintenance because they don't fucking fix it. Ask my foot. What the fuck?
Mine too.
What are you talking about?
That sounds like Dollar Bill.
Why wouldn't one?
Yeah, but that's it.
I soon learned. Don't trust Chevron.
Everyone here is got something that's interesting about them, and if they're willing to share it.
I just pushed her.
Full saying.
I mean, if nothing else, I mean, you can also, like, I know Terry has a small farm. Todd and Chrissy have a small farm. If nothing else,
Pushed her.
As long as we respect everyone's privacy to be themselves, and everything's highly edited, if it was to go up to YouTube,
well, all I was saying is, like, I know Terry also does wood carving or wood burning. We could sit there and sell that as well, too. And
Yeah.
that way it's helping her
Here-
as well.
Here's the
I
other,
would get into
here's the
making
other idea.
benches. There you
I
go.
got another question. If
Now I got all
we
this
did
time
this,
on my hands.
this would take, and this would have to be a voted thing, like completely. Those of us that have small farms, like I have, I'm starting my bees. I've got goats.
I know.
I got
I
chickens.
gotta listen
I
to
get
it.
stoned or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, you know where to come. Anyway, right my left hand. Anyway, I also have 3D prints. I do 3D prints of different things. So if we said, hey, in the 945, would you be opposed to a tax on those things? How many people would say yes? you'd be opposed to it? Or how many people would say, yes, we'd vote for it if it's gonna help our roads?
Tax on what?
If we, on our merch that we sold.
Yeah.
Like from our farms, something we produced here to come back
A
to help
contribution,
farmers.
donation
basically.
So like we sell chickens and we do like a 5% tax. That tax goes to the non-for-profit.
Well, actually, you couldn't do it as a tax. It would have to be done as a donation.
Yeah.
We add on a donation of 2%, 5%, 10%, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Just
Add on tip.
like that.
There you go, tip.
Tip.
Adding on a tip.
Donate to our cause. You know, any of those kind of things can help to go this. This part of the reason why I was talking about
Not as long as it's not
alternative
democracy, we're okay.
income, and some of it can be very long-term based, which would, in the end, require less input from each of us personally.
Stop my arm from hurting.
It's food for thought, guys. Just we don't have to have
Can I
answers.
have one? Going back to the amount of money per month, is it straight up $50? Doesn't matter where you live.
That's the way we're looking right now.
Okay.
That was and here, let me go back. That number was pulled out of my ass and cherry picked because that was the number Todd and I had talked about. Because we at that point we didn't know where everything was. But like I said, if we have 80 members, you know, that lived in our POA, and they did $50.
Yeah, but what's your number that you're playing with?
I think it is 8. I think that.
I think it
No,
is
no.
8.
What's your top dollar value on that? Well, you have said, hey, it'll cost $600 a year. Okay, but you take that and times your 80. Okay,
48,000.
48,000. 48,000 is going to provide what to each individual?
Well, 48,000 is going to go toward one, purchasing the road grader. It's going to go toward the fuel costs, and then from that, we're pairing. At this point, we go toward purchasing the road grader, purchasing the rock, and purchasing the parts to maintain the dump truck. The year following, we go toward rock and man hours, and by man hours I mean ability to work. You know.
Okay, and
So
like Bill, unfortunately, at this stage of the game, you can be subject to embezzlement with no oversight.
So I got you.
Okay.
Also,
This is where
you can have.
this is where the LLC that's not for profit would help shore that up.
Yes.
Is by mandatory reporting of this is what's done. Here's where we're at.
Yeah.
Here's where we're
Every
moving
member
to.
would receive the balance sheet.
Yep, and that would go back to our meeting. So if we did the HOA or POA, we would have it at meeting required every month, where we come together, everybody, and go, this is where the money went.
Well, one thing a 501c requires is a treasurer
Yes.
to keep detailed receipts and records of where every cent goes. Because I know our 501c3 fish, we have to have receipts from everything. Because otherwise the government can come in and say, hey, where's your non-for-profit money going?
And
Well,
you
if
can't
we don't have
audit
records
the hell
of
out
it,
of
they
you.
tax that money.
Yep.
So we have to have a treasurer to keep account of
Yeah,
every
there
cent.
would
And we
be
gotta find a
that
bank
is-
to open up an account in.
And I highly encourage a
elected
bank.
members to.
I would highly encourage a bank. Sorry to say this, but in Kansas City or in a bigger city.
No,
In a
because
state bank, not a federal.
yeah, and the reason behind that is
our
because
Bank J would be a good one.
city or a bigger city bank is more willing to give and set up and trust than a smaller town bank. Granted, I understand.
Actually, you would probably be better off with a credit union.
Well, there's a credit union over in Osage Beach that we could go and get information from. But I mean, Community America Bank, that's it, right, Jay?
Central Bank.
Central Bank.
I don't want any, before we go too far, I don't want anybody to feel that we're pushing it that way.
Right.
Because we're throwing the ideas of, hey, we have, you know, we've done a little bit of research, it's to this, we'd have to set this.
And before a check
Your
got
dance neither
wrote,
stand.
it would need a vote
of 2/3 of all the members.
And I'd say at least 2 or 3 signatures of whoever is on the board on the check.
So
a single person isn't writing the check.
Yeah, 2 signatures.
That's the way it was with the VFW auxiliary. Because I was the treasurer, the president had to sign the check, and the treasurer has to sign the
And
check.
I was not
So-
throwing my name out there
needs to
for
be
it.
2-stage verification on
yeah.
everything.
I was the treasurer for the soccer club in Morgan County. I'm not doing that again because it is a pain in the ass, and if you're not good with numbers, it's gonna get messed up real quickly. So it is not an easy
Marine,
job.
I'm out.
Actually,
I got my
guys,
trail for
as
you.
far as any of that's
I
concerned,
will draw the receipts and cry.
The other thing is
Then eat half
I
the
hate
time.
to say it, we would be best and beneficial if we got an attorney on board to
absolutely.
help with that.
Have it on board with an attorney that would.
And if we can't figure it out, I can always run it to Jag. I can always run it to Jag and be like, hey, help me out.
I've got a question. How are you gonna get these other people to participate?
We have no idea.
That's why we're.
It's gonna have to
It's
be
gotta
word of
be
mouth.
word of
Everybody
mouth.
talking to their neighbors and talking about
What
what
if
we
we were
talked
to just
about
show up
today.
at their house?
That it's not your
That-
typical.
Like a shot.
You know what we're proposing
What-
is not your typical.
What about
HOA.
writing
Sounds
up
like
like a
they're hanging out
newsletter or
on-
flyer
So,
and putting it in their mailbox?
That's why I wanted everybody
If you're
to
bringing
You
food
got,
to
you
their
gotta worry
house,
about
Okay.
legality.
Dude,
You
that's
can't-
more
you're not supposed
you're
to
gonna
open
get
the
shot.
bodies.
You're definitely getting shot.
Honestly, I say.
If you dog
can do like the
flyer,
dog flyers and put them on the outside. That would take opening.
Yeah. Don't read
Mine
it.
was
We're not
inside
here.
my
He runs his
mailbox.
own business.
Really?
He's
But I've had
got
problems with
one
somebody
day.
getting in my
Somewhere in
mailbox
the
or
middle.
my packages.
So,
We've had kids
The other
all
issue
week
we
in
have,
mailboxes.
and I'm gonna bring it up
To
since
the
we're all
point
here.
where I've told the mail
Everybody,
the
I
post
don't know
office, just
about,
hold my
I
mail.
can't say for Alice Lane because I don't live over there once again, but how many in here have had your shit gone through in the last week?
In
Your
mailbox?
mailboxes.
Me, I don't live on Elm
All of
Lane.
us
I never
are
did
good.
right now. They were all empty. Tell you what, our
If you
mailbox
tap
is out
into
the
it,
road. It's a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
mailboxes
Ours
are
is a
set
mile
up
away.
just like ours.
And
Yep.
somebody's been messing
Right
with
on
the
Webb
mailbox.
Road.
So-
They've been stealing stuff, so.
Yep.
So according to the post office, that is not their responsibility because it's on private property.
Right.
So
Are you
what?
serious?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they advise you to call the sheriff.
County road.
Yeah, but hold on.
So
a
that's
second.
a real
won't do
sticky
anything. They don't
situation.
come out here.
Sheriff
They
won't do
got
anything.
those state
Oh,
troopers.
that's
Yeah,
what-
sheriff will tell you to
Where
sit there
our-
and watch it
His
until you see it
mailbox
happen.
is
Yeah.
it, and that's
I
it.
told the
Hold on a
post
second.
office.
But there may be,
ex-husband stopped
I work
and
with
asked
post
why
office
they
all the
shut
time.
something in
Maybe
my
another
mailbox.
way around
They
it.
don't give a
They
shit.
told us to put up a
They don't.
camera.
Booby traps.
No,
Yep.
no, because
No, pull it from the road there. Go to
But
the
hey, it'll be a good
postmaster,
explosion.
have it placed inside of our line there so it's not sitting on web.
I've got a new mailbox.
So
Cellular
the,
trail
the,
cam.
the problem we have is
Set up.
Gary. Is that his name? Sits
Stratton.
at the top.
Stratton,
Yeah.
Gary.
Gary sits on one side of the road, and at one point I had asked him about moving our bank of mailboxes to there, and I don't know if he was drunk or if he was just really
He was
pissy
drunk.
or what his problem. I think he was actually sober that day.
Maybe that was the problem.
That
I got a bottle I'll throw at it if you need to get drunk.
he
shit.
got pissed at me and it was like, "Get the fuck out of here." Whatever. I ain't asking you. I don't know the people on the other side of the top of Webb Road.
You talking
I
about
don't
sawmill?
No, the other side.
Gary
They're
is the
truckers.
sawmill.
Yeah,
Gary is the
Gary's
sawmill.
sawmill.
Sorry.
The other
You're-
side where the trucker
So
lives.
you're talking about the neighbor to him?
No.
No.
He lives at the
Those
other
are
end.
nice
We're
ones.
talking about up at
She
Ozark Webb.
she works at a
Smoke shop.
smokers outlet in
Does she?
Versailles. Yes.
I know he's a trucker, so I don't know.
Yeah,
too
and
much
she
about
works at the smokers outlet.
So there's that possibility for us. For you guys, I don't know how to
We got in
address that.
trouble.
Doesn't do
Yeah.
no good when the mailman can't read.
That's very true too.
What happened to us is, the neighbor guy was bringing a mobile
They all know
home
his numbers
in,
too.
took the mailboxes down.
Oh shit.
Okay, so Gordon and Roy went down, put up all new posts. We put up new mailboxes, we put everybody's back up.
Yeah.
We caught holy hell from the post office. We
'Cause
had
you touched
no
them.
right touching
You
them.
said that
Yeah.
if we do this, we've got 15 feet either side of the road?
On Chevron, what used to be Chevron's priority, yes,
Right.
for the road route.
Here's where I'm going with it.
I'm all
Okay.
for wide.
If that's the case, we have that easement right, 15 feet. What would it take to do, say, a central mail center for the entire 945? That's well protected.
You
post office.
It would be a
You
would
could
be
try
a
it, but-
community area where people would actually talk to each other, so on and so forth.
And it wouldn't be hard to put a concrete
They
pad
won't
in.
put it on this side of Wham.
So the thing
They
is,
will not put
um,
mailboxes
You
so-
on
can
this
put it
side
on
of
my
Wham.
property.
If you had this many people,
They won't come down.
They won't come down here
They
though.
won't come down here.
you haven't talked to the postmaster general. I bet you they will.
so
They
will
will
They
not.
won't
They won't.
individually deliver to everyone.
what about right
but
there?
a
They do
community
not.
mail center they will.
Where
They
the
do
right
not
of way
deliver,
is,
they
is
I don't
not
know. I don't know.
Hold on, guys. Mike has got property up there right next to Gary's, right there at the right of way. If we put like one of those little buildings like what you have, and they just went in and it had all of our different mailboxes in it and locked, that's a possibility.
They
But
probably
that,
won't do that either.
that fixes our problem. That doesn't fix her problem,
Allison
or
Lane.
Candy Lane, or Leaning Tree, or Ed's Turn.
I
Yeah,
said
but that's
right
something
down
that
the
we can
road,
actually
the
do it.
mailbox would
I'm
fit.
telling
Take
you,
your
the
belt
kids
off
that
and
are
get your
walking
butt.
down
Well, we
Belmont
gotta
after
find 'em.
school, cause they gotta
The
walk
post
from
office.
135 all the way down.
A belt on them kids' ass will help.
We gotta figure out who it is.
Yeah.
So will rock salt.
15
The
years
post
ago.
office will not move the mailbox.
I
Post
understand.
office will not move them. You cannot move them from the other side
You
of the road.
cannot move them and put them somewhere else.
You can move yours individually. You cannot move anybody
No.
else's. I know that. And I've asked, and when Dee Dee was there, she said if I could somehow convince my whole group to move the
I
mailbox,
would put my
then they would have to agree
mailbox
to
on
it.
the other side of the
See,
road.
they
just
told us
against
that
the
they would
mailman.
not do this.
Now they won't drive back
They
in
will
here.
not
And I
drive.
don't want them. I don't want them to drive back in here.
down Ozark Lane, Ozark.
Oh, no, I think yours-
I have a question.
Mailbox at.
Right now, a lot of things have been said by a lot of different people, a lot of different ideas being brought to bear. Should we, at this point in time,
Todd, Jake,
potentially get another meeting together, let this kind of sit there and marinate in our brains and figure out what we want to do?
does everybody want to have another meeting? Is what he's asking. That way it gives us time to get the word
I
out.
think it should.
Have a meeting once a month.
Definitely.
And then you can get a hold of the loop and find out what they're willing
If
to
we
do.
can
and-
figure
Y'all
out
need
a
to
date
come down
to get
here.
them
Yeah, we can
here,
absolutely
I can
arrange
get
it.
more
Well,
people here.
Okay, if we're going to do another meeting, and it sounds like we are, at least at this juncture,
I'm wrong.
okay?
I live on the Allison Lane.
One of the things I recommend, because some of us do not live here, is the ability to Zoom it,
Actually, that little
Well,
or
Facebook.
Teams, or Facebook. That way we can actually add in from a distance.
That's
Yeah,
so that
that'll
was
work.
my thought on this to begin with. Granted, we're doing it GoPro right now. Cool, not a problem. But my thought is, one, next time.
Okay.
Sorry, Amanda, you're being picked out. You're the only one writing shit down. Is have somebody. Well, I've seen my wife all the time, but we assign somebody that be like, hey, you're the Zoom monitor, you're whatever, the moderator. You watch this, and when a question comes up, let us know. That way we can do that and write it down. I'm completely fine with that. That was an idea I proposed, but it was late. So all my, again, I apologize because I had a lot of shit going. Like,
Tony,
there's a lot going on, and
since you probably are one of the most experienced YouTubers that we have.
yeah. You're the only one I
I
know.
have a 16-year-old at home that's pretty good at it.
He has his own thing.
Is he good at watching it or actually good at making the
could also
film?
make
He's been getting into making his own thing.
We could also make a YouTube channel that people can look at. Say,
But-
hey, this is what we did today. This is the road progress we made.
That's what he's doing.
Actually,
And then we can get a Patreon and have
Yeah,
them
but
give
then we
us
can
money.
still have the trouble.
Actually,
Yeah, Bill, what
what me and Tony were
That's
talking
not,
about.
but that's the thing. Once it's
They'll
there,
donate money to us.
hold on. So
Especially if it's
once
part
that
of the
stuff's
public.
there, he's not gonna be able to do shit about it.
Okay.
Because
Absolutely.
typically, no offense, Tony, you're like 2 or 3 days behind once we're done it. That's fine. What's he gonna do? Come in and tear our bridge back out? And if he
Okay.
does, then it's destruction of private property. Because if we set this up,
Burn down.
now it's 945s. It's his POA. So if he comes
He
in
walked
here,
away from it.
yeah,
so.
he walked.
But it would be.
He walked away from
anybody-
it? No, it's documented that he walked away from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
because we've got the meeting on the.
Anybody who wanted to
And it's
post
still on Facebook.
I got a question. How
On
is that
that.
different?
can post on it.
Let me ask you something.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is
The difference
nothing
is
to do with
legality.
the road itself, but like our papers that we
What is it?
have.
The covenants?
Yes. Are we
Like-
are we free of that
For
yet?
those of you that are still
No,
paying
you're not.
off your land to Chevron, no.
I'm not.
Okay, so
I
here's
am.
the other thing on those. So I stayed after and talked to that attorney as well. The thing with the covenants is we have to get an attorney and we have to vote in front of that attorney, all the members. You can't have 40 of us here, this 40, and we vote 2/3. It has to be everybody. Once again, we have to get everybody together in front of that said attorney, and we have to go through those bylaws to get released from
So
those
even the
covenants.
people who don't have the
bylaw?
there are no deed covenants tied to my title.
Mine.
They're not in the county recorder's office.
So I understand what we're all saying, but like I was told, it has to be everybody that is up here on these 945. Granted, you may not have a deed, it may not be recorded
It's only
anywhere.
gonna have to be the people who have the covenant.
So
If you don't have a covenant, you have no reason to be there.
So
I
those
have
that
one,
don't
but it was,
have
we
Different?
bought our land straight out.
yeah, so those that don't have a covenant, like Todd and Chrissy, they don't show one from their bank. But at one point, quote unquote, there was one recorded. Chevron can come back and say, yes, there was one recorded.
They can say that,
They
but
can
it's never.
say it. They can say it, but to
I'll
cover
laugh at 'em.
CYOA, you know, come back and just we're all here. Guess what? We all said we wanted rid of it.
Okay, so I got a question for everybody that's here, because I know certain people's got to leave and do some stuff. What is everybody's opinion on what we've talked about? Are you guys in? Or are you out? About going about buying, even buying our own equipment and maintain it right now the best we can.
Actually, I could probably answer that.
I want everybody's in.
I know, but I'm interested in moving forward to the next meeting. Okay, I'm in it as far as moving the needle to the next goalpost. Okay, once we get to there and we have a consensus again, then we can choose whether or not we're going to move that goalpost farther.
Okay, let me finish my statement here. We have rain coming in next week.
We
A lot
have
of
rain
rain.
coming in the whole week next
Okay,
week.
so we're gonna have some
We're not
major
gonna
going
do that
horses,
by
I'm
next
sure.
week, Todd, with this. We're not gonna
It's
have
okay.
it.
Y'all got me and
You know,
Tom,
hold
me
on.
and Tony.
Hold on, let me finish, let me get it out, guys.
We're a road crew.
Yeah, everybody's had their chance to talk.
Everybody shut
so-
up and let me talk, say it. You know, is it gonna, you know, I've been putting money out on gas for Tony to go out and do the road work.
And for me,
And,
and I appreciate
and
it.
I've, you know, we have all, the ones that live on the hill. I mean, is there any way people could, I mean, are we in or out on, I don't know how to exactly word it, but I kind of get mixed emotions from everybody.
It's gotta be everybody, Todd.
I know, but, I mean,
That's the way it's gotta be.
Yeah, Todd, what
Todd-
we're trying
so
to do
what
here
Todd's
is win
saying,
hearts
though,
and
is-
minds.
No, what Todd's saying is we do have a storm coming in majority of next week. Todd doesn't, and I agree with Todd. I don't want to be the same way too. Those of us that are up here on the hill that have to surpass these things,
We'll
we
have
don't want to be the ones that are going, fuck, we're stuck again where we're shitting out
Thank you.
$700 for a tractor, or we're doing this
200 for
for
gas,
Right.
or
fuel,
you know,
whatever.
$300 for a fucking tire. Knock on wood somewhere, please.
or $1,000 for a motor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already happened.
And these aren't made up numbers. They're
It's
realistic
reality.
things. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I quoted that tractor for $450. Then the lady showed up and goes, "Yeah, it's $659." I about shit myself because I had taken only $450 and gave everything else for bills. Granted, my land didn't get paid this month, and you know what? It's tough fucking cookies. Road had to come first. I'll catch my land payment up, but. You know, it's the little things when we're maintaining it. Todd's like, am I going to be the one that's fucking eating all this? Or is there any way we could establish some kind of kitty?
Just to help out. You know, I know Roy and Mom, they eat it all the time. Their roads. You know, there's so many of us that live to get to our hill.
There's 15 different sets of families that I counted that live back here.
15 or 16, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know how much I've dumped out this year in gas. I know last year was over $1,000.
Yeah, same for me.
So, you know, Jay, you know, we've all dumped out so much money, and then Tony's busting his ass.
Well, the money and the time and,
Right.
you know, just.
We're, that's what, thank you, Zach, for, you know.
Like they were saying, $50 a month. Almost
It
everybody
takes a
here
lot of beer to
wastes
do all
more
this
than
fucking
$50 a month on shit they don't need, you know?
Well, it's like Todd and I
Don't
said
judge me,
too.
Vicky.
$50.
Don't be butthurt.
I ain't judging you, honey.
The thing is,
girls
though,
have to go to college, alright?
I know.
I pay for sure for something.
To me.
I know, but I'm saying.
The thing is, though, guys, like Todd said when we were working.
Okay, and William did, you know, but what I'm just throwing out, you know, Tony's been on that tractor.
Sorry, guys.
A lot. William, Miguel, and Don have been out there busting ass too.
There's a bunch of y'all.
Oh, we all do. We all do.
I don't live back here, so I don't deal with the same problems that you guys do, but I'm more than willing to give $50 a month.
Oh, me too.
The thing is
Right, but until you have an organization, and I hate to say it, until you have
we don't want the
No, I wanted everybody's opinion on, is it a problem for you? I know everybody's financially,
Now,
most everybody gets strapped. No, I'm not.
put it up your butt. Take it home. But here's the thing.
No,
I'm okay with you guys giving us the money. There's a problem. Like
Yeah.
we're talking
But I'm
about.
saying, you know, with
We
these.
can't. We establish this. We go forward and we do make the
I don't
organization. You've given us money 2 months prior. Not a problem. There's nothing against it. We can write it down. But if we were to get audited, they can come back and go, "Why did you have floating money for 2 months?" Yeah. And that's a big fucking problem. And granted, it may be $200, but it's like,
When we decide to move forward with everything, that's when the money will
yes.
start.
Once we establish a treasurer, that's when the money can start. Once we
So
establish,
how long is that gonna take?
Well, Zach,
until we get enough people there. 30 days.
I mean, I can't give you any money right now.
I understand.
I didn't know about it till.
have we
You guys
taken
been out
account
of
of the property owners on this 945?
No, we need to.
Okay,
We need to go back. So what we need to do is go down and write letter of
That's what I'm
intent,
saying.
letter of explanation.
You know, because I know money's really tight with everybody.
But that's where the flyer comes back in.
Actually, guys, let's do something real quick.
I'm sorry.
Can we get a yay or a nay to move to a second meeting?
Yay.
Unanimous!
Okay, so we're gonna move to another meeting. What is the agenda of the next meeting?
Get more
Hold
people
on.
here.
Hold on, time out real quick.
This is what I think.
Location. Todd and Chrissy, are you guys okay with us having it
Yes.
here again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You'll have to keep my shot clean.
I think we should stay on the road.
Hey,
Well,
don't let her
Loud, Sherry.
Alright, so
Thank you.
watching.
Hey guys, Sherry's talking.
she's not very loud.
And
Sorry, sorry.
that's all right. It kills me all the time.
Quit being bright.
I think we need to have at least 2 people in charge. Sitting here and watching, we've got too many chiefs.
No.
I believe so too.
So,
Amanda's taking good notes here.
no, I'm not.
Well, that's why I was asking, what will the agenda of the next meeting be?
And Zach knows what the heck you're talking about.
Are we going to elect officers?
Well,
I'm going in charge. So they have somebody.
somebody to direct the.
yeah,
Right, that's,
and I just got a new
You don't
picture
have
of
that.
it.
the officers of the loose organization.
I wasn't
Until
at
we can
first
get to a
meeting.
point of incorporation and stuff like that.
Not mine. Nobody told me about it.
I would like.
When was the first meeting?
Hey,
It was.
Oh yeah, that's because I just had surgery.
so what they're asking for, what she's asking for is 2 lucid officers right now. They're not they're elected, but they're not
You
necessarily
used to call me grandma.
interim officers to kind of guide where our conversations are going. And it makes sense until we get elected board members if we go that route. If we go that
Are
route,
you
like I
supposed to
said.
know?
'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
we still
want-
gotta
we
figure
still
out what our
gotta-
structure looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I nominate Todd and Jay. Does
Okay.
anybody agree?
Well, where's Jay?
Well, and
It would probably be better if it was two people who stayed here all the time.
No, I just said.
No.
Stop.
Well, we could do 3.
One that like a non full time and 2 full times.
Yeah.
You, me, and Jay.
Why does there have to be a
Why's it gotta be you?
Because you know.
He already got enough on his plate.
It's fine.
Come on, Zach. Come on.
I mean, I'm okay with whatever, guys. I just want to make sure everybody's on board. Is what I'm getting at. I want.
Evidently we are.
Okay, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying. I just want to make sure everybody is, and nobody's. You know, because there's some people that haven't really talked.
And if you're not, that's
Speak
another,
up.
that's another
Please,
speak up.
If you're not up for it, please speak and tell
That's
us.
what. Yeah. That,
This is what I think, is if you get those 2, 3 people, whoever's for it, whoever's not for it, you can just tell those people.
Yeah.
You don't have to be out,
Or if you have more questions about it, you got a direct person to talk
right.
to.
Exactly.
okay, everybody, put my phone number in your phone.
Yeah, it's under asshole.
Oh, and for
Fuzzy
the record, we are all chiefs. We
We
are
are
all.
all I'm a fucking Indian. I'm the fucking Indian here.
No, me too.
I got the card.
Everybody here is a landowner.
There's a sign in over here if anybody wants to get your address.
Yeah,
on
there
it.
is a sign in if you didn't get your name,
I
address,
did not,
and stuff on
Tracy.
it.
My number 816.
Who am I?
The other thing is I'm gonna sit down with Amanda, my
9547.
wife.
Is this it?
We will, yes.
Yeah.
Zach, me and Jay. If that's okay with everybody, let's get Jay.
Jay!
Jay!
He's working
They're out there working on something. Knew it was.
You're calling me right now if you have my number.
It's gonna work though.
My number says the easiest one.
Watch it.
I'll send
Watch
it
it.
out.
Hey,
Oh, it didn't do
We're
it.
voting.
You're about to get nominated.
On what?
alright?
Democracy.
Fucking sucks, man.
Here.
gonna stick a screwdriver up your ass.
Oh, right.
You want it first.
So basically, Sherry suggested that there be 2 or 3 people that
Interim officers for now.
people can go to, ask questions, talk to about stuff, and she nominated you and Todd, and Todd nominated Zach as well because we all kind of know different people throughout here. So, are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
That way
This
some
is
people
an
can
interim
go to those
position.
people and
Are
ask
you
them
okay,
questions
Zach?
and all that.
How's that? I vote no.
Is it because I'm black?
Yep.
Oh my God.
No, it's because you're Indian, damn it. No, actually, it's because I know all of you. That's why.
We're still being recorded.
Okay.
And don't edit it
We good
either.
done?
I think so.
Alright.
This is why I think we would make a sensation on YouTube, by the way. We would be able to sell merch and fund our entire endeavor.
Is
there any days next month that don't work for somebody to have the meeting?
Hey,
Yes, between the 20th and 27th.
I was
So,
gonna
on
say
the
Mother's
23rd.
Day weekend is out. No, that would be the week
How
we
about-
have it.
I can remember all that
I'm on
stuff.
vacation.
There.
What about the week of June
I gotta
1st?
put those.
Right after.
I need to sit down.
We can do June
All
1st.
right,
That's Saturday.
Yes.
See?
Well, hey guys,
Just me.
even though we may do that, keep in mind, we need to establish a situation like Zoom, Teams, whatever.
Order! I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Bailiff.
Tony, I need you over here.
Chrissy, what about June 1st?
Oh, you're right. Slow as me.
Have people come.
As far as I know, that's fine.
Here, honey, look at my phone.
Here's the thing. I'd like to do one in May and then one in June. That way we're not
If
double
you can
stacking
do
June.
it, if we do it in May, you can do it between the 20th and 27th. I am off. I am on vacation.
I'm off every day, so
I can
We know
come
that.
you can
anytime.
have it anytime.
I'm off until the doctor clears me back.
I represent her well.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so
My job will not work.
I'm on
Tom
call.
is primary on call that week.
I'm on
Sure.
call also every other week.
Don't tear that page up.
He's on call a lot more than me.
Don't tear that page
So
up.
we don't have to wear. I've got a list of my on call. And I'm on backup in May. And when I'm on May,
Memorial Day is
especially
which day?
summer coming up,
Memorial Day is.
I will be out.
I know Todd is on May.
I have,
He goes
yes.
on May 31st. He's on backup 5/24 to 5/31.
Get my boots on
Those
there.
2 days he'll be.
Yeah.
So it looks like which day was Mother's Day?
Well.
If we,
So we're looking at the 18th.
we can find those
Hence the problem.
Are you okay?
So May is gonna be a really busy month.
we can find those through different.
I'm okay.
That's only a couple weeks away.
The whole section like
That's why I
that.
was like.
But you know, that might not be bad because a couple of weeks that'll give us all a chance to come together and say, hey, you know what, talk about who's contacting I mean, once I go back to work, I won't be available in the afternoon.
Yeah, and he'll get off call on the 3rd, on that Friday, so.
Saturday the 4th, for anybody that wants to come and ask questions. But then the official meeting will be June.
But
I think
You're gonna stop. I'm not ready to face.
we probably have to do it June 8th, because Todd will be on main call first, so.
So June 8th for the
Yeah.
and then
What they do is they give you a code, hey, here's the code, open that up,
That'll be fine. Yeah.
and that can be done just if they want it.
Right, Facebook Live or something, yeah.
And it can be just Todd's up and
Well, if we were to have mail centers like that,
they can post it on the page.
this is kind of where I was going about having
Yeah.
community mail centers. Okay, where everyone
So,
knows how
are we
to.
doing it on the 4th?
Okay, so what we've come up, you said you wanted one day,
Camera and
so
all that kind of stuff.
May 4th, we can kind of do a get together. I know it's only 2 weeks, but it'll give an update on what we've learned, who we've talked to.
May 4th is a friend of a friend's friend's sister.
And Bono's not available.
Let me ask that. On that one, do we have to do? You have to do it in person, or can we just do it live?
We can do however,
You okay with
whoever
that? Just
can.
an update.
No, I think because we
Never mind. It's a
we
bird.
may even have probably like you said,
Leave her alone.
the Sun Goodell. Okay, this is a way that they can actually.
Right, and then.
We could do it online.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's what we are saying.
You just do a webinar, so to
Just
speak.
do a web meeting.
Well, but whoever can be here, we can have here in the shop. Whoever can be here, and then we can do whatever they call Zoom or whatever.
I know, Todd just got a 75-inch TV put up in here and see everybody.
Todd got
It
TV
ain't coming
right
in
there.
here.
They got cameras everywhere. Big one.
And then June 8th will be, yeah,
The in-person, whatever.
I'm fine with
because
that.
every weekend he comes off call. Do we want to?
Drill.
It's not in anybody's calendar.
Do we have that?
Zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, whoa.
Otherwise, we don't have to do like our anniversary.
I'm sorry, I'm just a silly person.
When's your drill?
Are we all?
Because it's not on the calendar.
Glad y'all listened to me.
Yeah.
Todd, thank you.
That's
Todd, Chrissy, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Like he said, it keeps, it gets him in
that's
the.
not
Hey, hey, can we get one for the host here, please? Thank you. Right here. The host. They're always the host.
We like doing it, so.
Well, we got the biggest area too, you know.
Something else.
Well, on the
following agenda that no one talked about.
You'd have to be here by yourself.
Wait.
I know. Well, we ain't been adjourned, but hey, something we ought to think about.
He can't do the phone.
Since we are doing all of these things,
He's on call.
is putting the community center
He
together
can't do
someplace.
Well, there is one.
Chrissy, he
All
can't
right,
do
ready?
the 15th.
So, oh, she's already gone.
Yeah,
But
that should
over
be
on
fine.
Alice Lane,
The 15th?
there's that
Yeah.
community building.
The meeting concludes.
Yeah.